Dr. Yamina, I think we can start now.
Yeah, sure. So let me get.
Uh, so I will start with an introduction of you and the topic that you will be discussing today. So stop sharing.
So what stop sharing? I have stopped sharing my.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So welcome everyone to our program Voice of Research Excellence. We have today among us an eminent speaker who is Dr. Yamina Al-Kirat Al-Alam. She is the coordinator of the doctoral program Language, Culture and Society at the Faculty of Letters and Human Science, Rabat. So the floor is yours, Dr. Yamina. You can start. She will be speaking about how to choose the doctoral research topic, and you can start if you want.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to share my slide. Okay. Is it appearing? Hasna?
It will take some time.
Okay.
It's not appearing yet.
Yeah, I think it's coming. Is it possible to put the video as well if I want? No?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. Do you see my
yeah.
Do you see? Okay. So full screen. Okay. So thank you, Hasna, for the introduction. It's my pleasure to be with you today at the Africa Business School for the Voice of Research Excellence at Mohammed VI Polytechnic University. So today, as you have announced it, so I will be introducing or trying to tell the students about how to choose a doctoral research topic. And before I proceed, I just want students, before normally this is deciding to get involved in a doctoral research is a serious enterprise. And I want students, before really deciding or taking decisions, to reflect on themselves and ask a number of questions. What does it mean to be a researcher? And what does a doctoral research involve and require? What skills are required? And do I possess these skills? And what are my main motivations for deciding to get involved in this, of course, a doctoral research. And a doctoral research is a long journey. It's really a journey because it takes some time and it requires efforts and everything. So, and what are my reasons for undertaking a doctoral thesis? Am I ready for the research journey? All these are questions that young researchers should really ask themselves, and they should be honest to themselves or with themselves and try to answer them before they embark on a doctoral research. Now, there are a number of skills, of course, trying to help the students see what skills are required for doctoral research. I will refer to a number of skills. Among them are language and communication skills, both oral and written, problem-solving skills and analytical skills, critical thinking, leadership skills. Why leadership skills? Because data collection and all this requires that you really have some skills in dealing with your informants. Teamwork, because you have to have the spirit of teamwork in order to really manage to deal with the issue as well. Emotional intelligence, adaptability to the context. This is a different context from what you were in at both the BA level and the master level. Uh, Diligence and hard working. The undertaking a doctoral research requires a lot of commitment and hard work, and open-mindedness, because actually you will receive some criticism either from your supervisor or people you will be discussing the topic with, and you should really be open-minded so as to accept the criticism. And work ethics. Research without ethics is really a serious issue. So be sure that you have all these skills for undertaking your doctoral dissertation. Now, what is a good doctoral researcher as well? I am trying to help you see, normally from my experience in doctoral supervision over 2 decades now, I can tell you that some of the main requirements or characteristic of a good doctoral researchers are independent. A good doctoral researcher should be independent, that is, should be able to work without close supervision and manage his time and the project, should have critical thinking. So you see again why it's crucial to have critical thinking, because you will have to read other researchers and make judgments about the
Make
value of
judgment.
the information, make a judgment about the value of what you are reading. You should also be or have the skill of problem solving, because actually research involves problem solving. You have to be capable of finding solutions to situation you will find yourself in, or to the data issue you will be facing. And why is it my screen is blocked, Hasna? What is happening? Oh, yeah. So, and you have really should be able to take initiatives, and take decisions when they are needed. Now, how to become a successful researcher? I'm putting this so that you reflect on all this, because it's crucial. As I said at the very beginning, undertaking a doctoral dissertation is a journey that will last for a number of years, and you should really be aware of all these issues I'm addressing here. So how to become a successful researcher? By being humble. Research requires humility, and you should be open to criticism again. Build a social network, be capable of building social networks, and have the capacity to work hard, but also to work smart, and have clear goals and objectives. You should really be capable of setting your goals and setting your objectives, because all what research is about is setting the objective of the research. Be organized and have a good research plan. You should really be capable of setting a good research plan, and you should be also ready to step out of your comfort zone, because especially if you opt for a topic that would require data collection, you have to accept the challenges of fieldwork. And you have to have good writing and communicative skills, because you will have to write your research and submit it, but you will also have to communicate, have a defense, and be able to speak correctly and communicate all about your research. Now, characteristic of a good research topic, and I want you to keep all this in mind, because we will get to this in more details later. A good research topic originates with a research question or a research problem. It requires clear articulation of a goal. So remember, I referred to capacity of being able to set the goals. Good research is also guided by specific research problem, research questions, hypotheses, and objectives. And here, I would like to refer to a Chinese saying that states that the longer journey begins with the first step. What does this mean? It means that all depends, your experience or your research journey with a doctoral thesis depends on the time you take and the way you decide and choose your topic. So the longer journey begins with the first step. And here I would like to warn you, don't approach your research in a manner that puts the cart before the horse. That is because when you do, that is, what does this mean with respect to research? Don't choose a topic and formulate your research questions before you read the literature about your research. You should know first what has been done in the field in relation to the topic you will be working on. So when you do, that is, you choose a topic without reading the literature, you limit yourself to review only what is directly related to the questions you have set. And this somehow hinders your knowledge and the learning experience you normally have to go through in a dissertation. And remember a Moroccan proverb, as you are, I don't know whether you are all Moroccans, but there is a Moroccan proverb which states, when something goes wrong, we have a Moroccan proverb which states the following: he left the house tilted, which means that, I will say it in Arabic so that you grasp it, من الخيمة خرج عوج. That is, if you don't take the time really to work and choose a good topic from the very beginning, it's very likely that the whole experience will fail because you didn't take the time to choose the right topic. So what does this mean? It means that choosing a topic and really taking the time to choose it is a critical step in your research journey. Choosing the topic will, and narrowing it down will determine how long it will take you to reach your objective and finish your thesis, and also the quality of the work you will be completing. So objective of this presentation, very quickly, I want, of course, I'm intending to help the students choose a research field and the specific research topic, find the gap or niche, and come out with a new and original topic, narrow down the topic, obtain a thorough overview about the topic, what makes a good topic, and how to evaluate and sell your topic. So first thing first, and the first thing you should really go for is to identify a broad area of research. I know that you are at this stage of choosing your topic, so try to look at a broad area of research. I know that this is a business school. There is business, marketing, finance. You have studied so many fields of study at the level of your master program. And normally the master program is the stage that prepares students for the doctoral stage. So, for instance, how can you identify a broad research area of research? You can go through your courses and teaching material and notes. That is, you go back to all the modules you have studied, to all the topics you have addressed at the level of your master program. You also reflect on observations made in daily life that you noticed, or during your internship. If you have been on internship, you can also remember an issue that you faced there or that you noticed was addressed. And you should reflect on topics addressed in seminars and conferences at both the national and international level. And you should try to find out about the issues addressed and discussed in the field as well. Okay, and I will tell you about how to find out about this. So choose a specific topic. Beware, this is very crucial. Beware that a faculty member is interested in the topic, because otherwise you may run the risk of doing things on your own, and it's difficult to get someone to accept to work with you if the person is not a specialist in the field or is not really interested in the topic. So when this happens, it's very problematic if no one has expertise in your topic, because it will have an impact on the quality of feedback you will receive. So faculty interest actually is the best and smoothest dissertation, makes the faculty interest makes the best and smoothest dissertation experience. And of course, it will make your journey very easy and smooth. Now, how to choose a topic, how to find the topics. We speak, when we talk about finding a topic, we speak about looking at gaps. Now, looking at gaps in research or in contradictions in the specialist literature. Now, of course, it's easy to find a gap in a puzzle because it's very apparent, but it's very difficult and hard to find a gap in research because you have to do a lot of reading with a critical eye. So you see now why I insisted on critical thinking. And this is the only way to find where shortcomings are. Okay, so you can, if you do the literature, you can find out in the specialists literature, the specialist literature. Yeah, Hasna, what is wrong? I can hear a background voice. Okay. So the only way to find where shortcoming is
Excuse me, dear all listeners, please try to switch off your microphone. It's our kind request. Please facilitate the speaker to continue the lecture. Thank you.
Thank you very much, because there was a lot of noise. Okay, so actually the only way to find the shortcomings in the interpretation, or you can really find in a research the limitations of the research, and you can start from there. Of course, you can find different limitations for research, but for this you should do the readings to justify the research topic you are choosing. Now, when choosing a research topic, you need to know a great deal about the area of study. This is why I insist, because after you complete your dissertation, you will become an expert in the field or in the area of study. So you need to have really a lot of knowledge or enough knowledge in the field so as to pretend to be or claim to be an expert in the field. Okay, and if you know a great deal about the field, you will be able to find the gap. You need to know a lot about your topic before you choose it as well. You should read a lot when you find a topic. You need to read a lot about it so as to be able to narrow it down. And you need to take time to do the reading before choosing the topic. So remember to take the time, as I said, because this is very crucial from experience. I know that students do things in a rush, and it's most of the time when things are done in this way, we come out with not very good topics. So take the time to reflect on the topic and see whether you like it or not, as you will deal with it for quite a long period of time. And whether you have any previous knowledge about it, ensure of existence of enough relevant literature, ensure that it is relevant to your study and to your career goals. At this stage, when you want to undertake a research in a doctoral dissertation, you should really think carefully about what career you want to go for. It would be very relevant that you choose a topic that goes in this direction. And the topic should be suitable in terms of scope, requirements, and approved by a professor. I don't know how the situation is at Africa Business School, but actually the presence of a professor and the acceptance of the professor is one of the requirements for the choice of the topic as well. So remember your own particular interest. Choose a topic you are passionate about. Dissertation will consume a lot of your time than you could imagine. You will work on it for days, weeks, months, years. So make sure that you really like the topic you are choosing. Make sure you are interested in the topic, and so as not to drag on it and end up not finishing it. Because when you choose a topic you are not very much interested in, you end up, and I have seen among our students, they end up giving up on their research. But of course, you choose something you are passionate about, but avoid a topic you hold strong opinions and beliefs on, and you are emotional about. Because being too tied to a topic can be problematic, because it makes it hard to be objective and neutral. And you know what research is all about, is about objectivity and neutrality in the analysis and interpretation. Now, steps in choosing a topic. So I have come now to the different steps. So you decide on a suitable subject area, then you choose a more specific domain before you decide for a topic. Your interest area is a domain that strongly interests you and you are fascinated about. And of course, nobody else should decide for you. You should be the one who opts for this. You are the only one to know which topic appeals to you. And if you are not happy, not enjoying your topic, the learning will not happen. You will really suffer undertaking your research. So look into the literature and see what is your interest area. You should do a lot of reading. This is a basic requirement. Second one, gain and obtain general overview on the topic. Now, of course, in order to do so, you need to take the time to do the reading. And of course, when you do the reading, you are capable of selecting a topic. You go, if you don't do any reading, it's like going blind. And when you go blind, it's like closing the eyes and choosing blindly where to put your hand haphazardly. And of course, your hand can land anywhere without really you intervening or getting involved in the thing. Okay, so it does take time to find the topic if you want to do things properly. And I insist on it. It should take the time to find a good topic if you want things to go smoothly and you want to do a proper research. Creative topic. Now, please be very creative when you are thinking of your topic. You need to do a background study before choosing a topic. You should need to set the aim for a research. You should add something that is normally a doctoral research, contrary to the type of research you have done at the level of the master program. The doctoral program, the doctoral thesis should contribute to knowledge. Contrary to the master thesis, the doctoral thesis should add something new to the knowledge existing about the topic you are going to choose. So this is why you need to find a research gap or a niche that is a totally unexplored or partially unexplored area or topic. Reading about the background will help you introduce your research topic and of course prepare you for the research writing of the research proposal. And you of course you will have to justify your topic and refer to the previous studies. Okay, and the literature review is crucial in research. You cannot undertake any research without reading about what was done before and how far has research gone in relation to the topic you are planning to work on. It helps you situate yourself, because when you choose a topic, it's like looking for a niche for yourself and trying to position yourself among the other researchers in the field or in the topic you are willing to work on. And the risks of not doing research, literature review is that you may choose a topic that has already been covered. And you will end up just repeating what the others have done. I know that for business in Morocco, I'm not aware to what extent this is a very developed field of research at the level of the doctoral programs, but avoid choosing a topic that has been covered before and covered so many times. Or you may choose a topic, and here as well, you should be very careful. Be careful not to choose a topic or a gap where not enough evidence for you or for any professional scholar is available to undertake a research and come out with answers to the questions you will be addressing. Okay, so if there isn't much knowledge about the topic, it's better not to take the risk, because you will face a lot of challenges as well. Now, how to obtain a rough overview about the topic? I thought that it's very important to just let you see how you can obtain a rough overview about the topic. So literature will help you do this. And you know that nowadays there are no excuses. You have bibliographic and general databases. You have publisher and databases and journal websites. You have subject-specific databases as well. Just look and see what is there. A lot of opportunities are offered there. And of course, you should read books, journals, articles, and all these things so as to find out about the topic and be sure that you are on the right track. Find which research disciplines deal with what subject, so as to know which area of study you are specializing in, and to make sure that you will be using the theoretical models appropriate to the area of study, and see whether numbers of publications have increased over the years, in which countries, and what were the studies undertaken. Now, you should collect all these findings using a mind map. I don't know whether you know a mind map, but nowadays you have softwares that can help you establish your mind map. So you have, of course, to identify your gap and the interesting links to it and establish the mind map. Now, using the mind map will help you narrow down and determine what to study more closely and what to leave out. It will really help you to see and to make of your topic a very focused topic. Now, steps in still with choosing a topic, you should narrow down, after you have found a topic, you should narrow down your topic. And how can you narrow it down? By adding a context, because adding context is a great way of narrowing down your topic. What does it mean? What does context mean? You use geographical context, for instance, for your topic. You can undertake the research in Morocco, North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, etc., etc. And so a geographical context, a historical context as well, time aspect, period. Are you going to do the study over 3 years? That is a period of 3 years, a decade. For instance, we can take this COVID period as a historical context for studying a phenomenon in relation to either business or economy or finance or whatever, because of the impact of COVID on all these aspects. Or you can choose to do the research for a number of years and you limit the years. You should also focus on a category of people. Don't let your topic be very general, because you will run the risk of not going deep into the study. So focusing on category of people, youth, for instance, retired people, women, and etc., etc. You can have this. You can also identify issue of interest through brainstorming, literature review. It will help you surely find out about how to narrow down your topic. You should discuss the topic with your colleagues, friends, professors, and they will surely suggest ideas to you that will help you also see clearer in the topic. And again, I go back to the mind map. Mind map helps you narrow down your topic further and decide for what to to include in the research and what to include. So remember to frame your topic, what to study, among whom, where, when, why, and how. All this should be, these are questions you should address yourself, and this is what will help you actually make your, narrow down your topic and make it really focused and to the point. Make sure that the outcome of your research are measurable, and that the study will fill in a gap in the existing knowledge, and that the research is feasible. Remember, these terms are crucial for you. For instance, I have taken an example here: advertising practices and bank performance in Morocco since the year 2000, the case of a Tijari Wafa. So if you look at the context, I have added the context. So you have, of course, what? Advertising practices and bank performance. In Morocco, you have, so it's the geographical context, the historical context you have since the year, that is for 2 decades. And I made it case studies. So who is the focus on the category? I have chosen only a bank, one of the leading banks in Morocco, of course. Now, what makes a good topic? A good topic is a topic that is strongly interests you and fascinates you and you want to talk about. It's a topic which is creative, innovative, because some topics have been consumed and you will see that there isn't much to say about them. Try to come out with a topic that hasn't been covered much. Pick a topic exciting for both you and your supervisor, because when you love the topic and when your supervisor is also very passionate about the topic, you really, both of you will enjoy the study and really do your best to complete and achieve a lot in relation to the topic. A topic that is neither too broad nor too limited. You should really be careful with not choosing a broad topic, because you will get lost and you will never be able to gain deep insight into the topic. If it is too limited, it will not be suitable for a doctoral dissertation. Make sure it's a topic that is a valid and valuable topic. And remember that the topic, of course, when you start at the very beginning, keep in mind that it's never the final stage, and that your topic may still be adjusted throughout of course, the process, at least the first year, while you are reading more literature, you are deciding for your methodology and so on. At the end of the process, you will have to define the following: specific research topic, research questions, suitable literature. You will have to find relevant literature in references related to your topic. Now, there are 3 essential requirements for a research topic to fulfill. It should be clear, well articulated, and well defined. Remember what I said about how to narrow down the topic. You should have a research problem, research questions. You need to show that you know exactly what your focus is. That is, you should know what your focus is. It is well justified. That is, it is going to fill in a gap within research in relation to the topic. It's not investigating something that others have already done. You provide justifications for your research. It should be original. It should be new and unique. It should be worthwhile, and it should be adding value to the body of knowledge in the field. It should be doable as well. Don't be too ambitious, because I've seen my doctoral students being too ambitious and choosing a very broad topic. No, please don't be too ambitious. Think of whether the topic is doable or not. Be realistic. Is it a realistic topic that is achievable? Can it be completed despite the constraints, time, research skills, and so on? I don't know what the system, but I guess it's the same system as all the doctoral programs in Morocco. So I guess it's 3 years with extensions. So when you choose your topic, think in accordance to the time constraints that you have. Not only is research, and of course, when you choose a topic, and of course, you will have to submit your research proposal, you should also, a good topic, and this is a requirement, is not only a research worth doing, but it's also a research where you try to convince that you are the right person to do it because you have the skills required and the background in the field that will help you undertake this research and reach a completion. Now remember, it's crucial to specify the following. What general area you will be working in, because you should know it. You should not just choose a topic haphazardly without knowing which area of study you are in and what specific aspects you will be focusing on, what problem or gap you want to address. Example, I have chosen a couple of examples from your field. For instance, general aspect, business, specific aspect, business ethics, and the problem you can, for instance, research is gender discrimination and employees' performance. Again, the case of the Moroccan public or private sector, or the case, or you can choose specific institutions if you want to make it very, very focused. So I'm trying to just show you a little bit from your field of study. Another one, general aspect, business communication, specific aspect, interpersonal communication, and the problem, the influence of culture on interpersonal dialogue. The case you can take the case of an institution or a couple of institutions and do the study there. It's focused and you can come out with clear results. A general aspect, business management, and specific aspect, business productivity. And here the problem, employees' benefits and employees' productivity. Or staff motivation and productivity. This is a topic that is worth investigating. You can make it more focused by specifying more either the geographical context, historical context, or the group concerned. So I'm giving just hints to some topics. Problem, another problem, it's still with business productivity. Women and business management in Morocco. I think these are interesting topics to consider when it has to do with gender. And the case as well, you can look at, make it narrower by specifying which the group you are really, or the institution you want to investigate the topic in. Another topic, business internal communication and the business external image in Morocco. See again how you can narrow it down, taking, of course, remember the context, geographical, historical, and the group context into consideration. It's crucial to specify what the main research issue you want to address. It is, what are the objectives of the research? This should be clear actually to you. What is your research? Why is your research significant? You should be able to say why your research is significant. You should keep it focused, and you should not set a list of objectives. 3 objectives, 4 maximum, but objectives that we can reach, that you can reach. Don't set a list of 10, 12 objectives. Sometimes you can have 1 or 2 very, very precise objectives, so try to be focused. Demonstrate awareness of research area you have chosen. Refer to former studies. You should show that you are aware of what has been done in relation to the topic. Talk about the context. Remember, what has been done in what and what you will contribute. Because as I mentioned earlier, a doctoral dissertation should absolutely contribute to the knowledge in the field. It's not a research that you undertake in order to repeat what the others have done. You should come out with a contribution that your study will really come out with, and that can be considered as a contribution of the study you have undertaken. Give a literature review to show how much you know about the field as well. You should really show that you master the field, because without knowing the literature, you will be doing things really without being into the context of what the others have done so far. It's also important to think of the following: how you will carry out your research. When you choose a topic, think it's what, but think of why and how. So how you will carry out your research, what research methods you plan to use, what specific techniques, interview, because in the data collection, if you plan to meet and collect data from the field, from people involved in the sector you are planning to work in, are you going to use quantitative approach, qualitative approach? Are you going to use the interview, the questionnaire, the focus group, the text analysis, secondary data? All this you should think of from the very beginning when you choose your topic. You need to think of how you will be doing research and not just what you want to do. Because if you think of only what you want to do without thinking of the how, you will face serious challenges later. So this is why it's better to think of this from the very, very beginning. Think of the skills required for the topic you choose. For instance, if you want to opt for a quantitative approach, that would require data collection via a questionnaire, that is a survey. You will need to be aware and to have the skill of data processing through a software. If you don't have the skill at the moment you choose it, you should absolutely get ready for it. It's never too late. Even if you don't have that skill, if you do not master any software that will help you process your data, for instance, the well-known thing is the SPSS, you can learn it getting ready for your data analysis. Think of ethical issues as well. You should also think and try to predict and anticipate the challenges you may face during the progress of your research, like in data collection, maybe access to data. Is it easy to get access to data or not? Provisional title: when you decide for your topic, you narrow it down, you should decide for a title. And we call it only provisional title or working title, because this title will surely change with the progress, your progress in research, especially as long as first year, especially during the first year, you may change as research project develops. So you should convey a title. A good title should convey what research is focusing on as precisely and concisely as possible, and should give a hint to the research design as well. A title is a sense of what you're doing. It should clearly indicate the topic and should not be too general or too long. Normally, in principle, according to schools and according to universities, some say it should not be more than 15 words. Others say it's no more than 13 words. So try to see what are the requirements at your school and try to abide by these requirements. It should be catchy, of attention and grabbing. You should avoid using biased words in your title. Actually, with the formulation of a doctoral thesis, title should be taken seriously, and it's actually a skill that you can develop. You should really think about it seriously. You should check with your professors. You should check with your classmates or your colleagues. You should check with whoever you think can be of help to you. How to find the gap? Now, you can find the gap when you are in disagreement with what a researcher has reported in his or her research. For instance, imagine you read about a topic that was undertaken in Morocco, but when you're a doctoral research or just a published article about a topic and you disagree, you think that you disagree with what the researcher has done in his research. So when there is disagreement, this disagreement keeps the gap open and gives you the opportunity to address the topic again. And so you can start from somebody's knowledge gap. Okay, so you start from what you think is a limitation in somebody's research. You can find a gap also when you are able to show that the topic can be investigated from another perspective or theoretical framework. It can be also approached through a different methodology. For instance, if a study has undertaken the topic from a quantitative approach, you can announce to undertake it from a qualitative or a mixed approach, for instance. And you can also claim to provide claim that the analysis or interpretation in the study is limited, but for this you need to argue and really make sure you have solid and logical arguments for claiming so. Is limited. You address the limitations mentioned in the studies and investigate further research topics. Normally in dissertations at the end of in the general conclusion, students always refer to topics for further research or to limitations of the study, so you can start from there. Now, the literature review, I want to insist on it because it's crucial. It's really essential for your choosing the right topic. So literature review is part not only of the dissertation, but of any research article or research project, because it helps you situate your work in relation to the existing knowledge. And it also helps reveal the originality and relevance of your research problem and how your research is different and justifies your proposed topic and methodology. Literature review helps you as well build your knowledge in the field. This is how you acquire expertise. This is how you can talk and discuss about the topic among experts to show that you are aware of the main or leading scholars in the field and you know about their theories, you know about their studies and so on. Reviewing literature is like participating in a conversation. For instance, when you take part in a conversation, and there is, of course, this has been a metaphor used by some scholars. So imagine you arrive to a group of colleagues, and they are already discussing a topic. From the very beginning, you cannot follow. You need to take some time to listen until you really understand what the topic is about before you do anything or before you react to what the people are saying. So this is exactly like a research. Research is like participating in a conversation, and in order to participate in the conversation, you should be aware of what people have said before you, of what stage the discussion or the debate is at, and what are the issues addressed. So requirement, crucial to familiarize yourself. This is essential before also you get into embark on doctoral research. You should make sure you familiarize yourself with the research process. You should understand the jargon, the basic research concepts, research problem, questions, literature review, field work, and all these issues. You should understand how research works. And otherwise, you will really lose a lot of time later on. You should find out about the themes at your university. If your doctoral program is suggesting themes for you to choose from, you should really stick to these themes, because it means that you will have faculty members who are experts in the field. So it means that, of course, it should be, it is a requirement to keep the originality requirement in mind. So how unique is your topic? And potential research area. So start broad. It's better to start broad, and it's like the funnel. You start broad and you go and narrow it down until you find your specific topic. Don't start narrow, because it will be very difficult for you to broaden your topic. Start broad, and then progressively you can narrow down your topic. And so I have already said that this. So narrowing down the topic towards a niche. Look at dissertations. I have already mentioned this. Read the title, the abstract, the general introduction, general conclusion, and you will find a lot about what the topic is about, what the dissertation is about, and you can see exactly what gap there are. Understand the current state of knowledge. It's very, very important, okay, to really go into the literature and find out about how far the discussion is. How to skim articles. Again, you look at the summary or abstract, you look at the keywords, you do from one article, you go to another, and you look at the references provided at the end of the articles. You should find potential research topic, as I mentioned right a while ago. Look for FRIN. FRIN means further research is needed in the articles, in the thesis, and look always for original topic, authentic need, of course. Evaluate topic ideas, originality in terms of originality, importance, availability of literature, topic not too new, not overdone, data access, resource access, data collection capabilities, data analysis capabilities, and personal attraction, how excited you are about it and how appealing is the topic to you. Now, how to evaluate, I'm getting close to the end, how to evaluate and sell your topic. Now, normally when you, I don't know whether you already have your supervisors, but this is exactly what it is. Sell your topic in order to get a supervisor. Develop elevator pitch for your topic. So I would really advise that you, while you are looking for the topic, to get 2 or 3 topics in mind and to try to look for which one would be more convincing and more appealing at the very first time. So for each topic you have more or less thought about, try to write a paragraph covering and explaining what the research topic is about. What? And why is it original, unique, important? Explain the value. Why is it valuable? How you plan to undertake research, that is the research design. And then take the paragraphs and ask people for people's views, not necessarily experts in the field. Ask anyone who can read. If you are writing your things in English, you ask for people who read English, and you ask them which topic they like most and why. What challenges do they foresee for the different topics? And of course, this will really help you decide on the basis of what the others. You can look yourself at these evaluations and decide on their basis. Now there is a research topic pyramid. Every piece of research topic pyramid is influenced and determined by the other. There are different stages, of course, but they do not go in a linear way, as you will see. And the process of identifying a topic is not linear. And you will need to move down a level or 2 in pyramid every time to take a step upward. And after you have taken decisions, you need to check that decisions are fit together. And the topic selection is complete after making decisions about all these steps in process. Decisions should fit together and complement each other. And I have somehow established a pyramid for the topic pyramid choice. So you have field of study, area of study, research topic. So you can move from field of study to area of study to research topic. And then you can go back from research topic to study area of study to field of study, and then you can go from field of study to topic and from topic to field of study. So you see, it's not linear, so you can go from one step to another. Now, a list of references, it's crucial to establish a list of reference from the very beginning, because this is a key research skill in a doctoral student. Establishing or having references is a requirement for any scientific research. You use correct referencing. Make sure you use one and only one referencing style. Check with your institution if they have adopted a referencing style, so you adopt it. If not, you see which is, you agree with your supervisor or whatever. Normally the school, African business school should normally, well, I think as we do at the Faculty of Letters in Rabat, we do have a referencing style, for instance, for the Department of English. So you have AP, MLA, Chicago, Harvard, different styles, but check with your institution. Referencing to other studies is crucial to position yourself. Reference manager software. Nowadays, you have, again, reference managing softwares that help you organize your references so as not to forget anything. You just need to really watch this from the very beginning. And you should have solid reference list that should include leading scholars in the field, and this should also, the reference list should also include up-to-date references, that is, new references. You cannot keep referring to studies in the 80s and 90s while there are other studies done in the year 2019 or 20. If the old study reference is really a leading reference, one of the basic references in the field, you can refer to it. But if there are more recent studies, you should really use up-to-date references. Now, as a conclusion, I would like to say that choosing a doctoral research topic requires time to put things together. Please don't do it in a rush. It's not something that can be done quickly or in a rush, because you will really face serious challenges later on. The more time you take for deciding for your topic, for choosing a right topic, narrowing it down, the more time you will save later on. And the less time you take, the more time you will waste later on. So choose a special topic that offers new and interesting potential for research. Ask yourself, is my topic new, original? Is it worth investigating? Is it achievable, doable? And of course, remember again that to narrow and focus your research topic or problem, and ask yourself, can I get the data I need to address this problem? Can I get the data in the time frame allotted to my dissertation? Am I addressing one research problem or a multitude of problems? Can I articulate my research in a sentence or two? And actually, if your research is focused and clear, I don't know whether you have heard of my thesis in 3 minutes. You should be able to talk about your thesis in 3 minutes and refer to sum up everything, actually. Conclusion and takeaways. Choosing a topic is an iterative process. Do not expect to move in a linear fashion. You may have to go back and change some decisions made earlier. Be ready to write down draft after draft before you reach the final stage. Be ready to accept and embrace feedback in a very positive way. If you receive feedback you disagree with, don't ignore it. Rather, ask questions and try to understand the reason behind feedback. If you give your topic to other people to read and they are giving you some criticism about it, don't start defending it. Rather, try to see why they are criticizing the topic. Maybe the way you have formulated your ideas is not clear, so the reader may not have understood what your point, and your point is not clear. Find a unique, original, and important research topic. Remember to choose a topic that is interesting to you, interesting and you are passionate about, but not a topic you are emotional about. So the less emotional you are, the better experience your research will be. And seek advice from your supervisor, even if not expert in area. She will help to make project better. Ask only questions that can be answered for your research questions. Don't put too many questions. Think of how your questions will be answered. Think about your work as part of an international dialogue. Remember the conversation. What else is published on your topic? Understand the basics of academic research as well as your university's specific requirements for a dissertation, thesis, or research project. Review previous dissertations for your course to get an idea for both topics and structure. Start the choice of topic by familiarizing yourself with the literature. Identify your potential research questions. Narrow down your options, then evaluate them systematically. Make your decision and don't look back when you take a decision. If you have taken the time, if you have followed all the steps I have mentioned, after you will take your decision, I think that the decision will be a good one, and there is no need again to look back and to start from scratch. Avoid picking a topic which addresses either a big problem or a very limited one. Pick one that is just big enough to help you earn your doctoral degree, because the doctoral degree is just the starting or point for a research journey, especially if you like and enjoy research. Be creative, innovative, realistic, pragmatic, and reasonable. And of course, I have tried to represent this on a graph. So you have, of course, identify all these things have been set here for you to see, to sum up the steps for choosing a research topic. And with this, I come to the end of my presentation. I hope my presentation was of help to you, and that you will take advantage of it and follow the guidelines I have set for you. And thank you very much for the invitation and for the opportunity to speak to your doctoral students.
Thank you, Doctor.
So
now
much. Yes,
the platform open for the queries and any questions.
Thank you, Doctor, for your presentation. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Okay. My name is Nisreen, and I'm a PhD candidate at ABS. I have 3 questions, please. The first one is about like the skills you have specified in the beginning of your presentation about what are like the skills required to be a good researcher. And I think that those skills are actually the same as how to be a good entrepreneur. So my question is, what is your opinion regarding the fact that we find that a lot of good researchers have some inventions and some good stuff that can be transferred to the industry world, but they don't try it. Is this meaning that they don't have the skills of a good researcher, or what's the missing ingredient in this? This is the first question.
May I answer?
Yes,
Nasreen,
sure.
may I answer one by one so as not to miss anyone? Okay. So, yeah, you are right. Actually, the skills I have mentioned are actually crucial skills, not only for research, but for life. I can tell you that from my experience with research, being a researcher has helped me a lot in even the way I manage my personal life, because it opens your eyes on things that you think in a very logical and very objective way. Sure, what you said is that a number of skills, or most of the skills mentioned, are also skills required in entrepreneurship, but people don't dare to or never take the initiative to start an enterprise. This is your question, isn't it? So why is it so? From my experience and from, of course, experience with research and also experience in the field, and because I have also supervised a doctoral dissertation that got defended last, I think, when was it? I think it was in December, on entrepreneurship and what it involves, and especially entrepreneurship education at the university level. Some of the conclusions the study came out with was that the entrepreneurship culture is still not widely spread in our culture, and that one of the main conclusions the student reached is that people don't want to take the risk, because when you start an enterprise or get into entrepreneurship, there is a risk you take. You are never sure the thing will be a success. So I think that in our culture still, well, we have more and more young people nowadays, especially those who, and I would say it frankly, those who get educated either abroad or in foreign institutions, they get initiated to this culture of entrepreneurship and risk taking. But locally, the Moroccan educational system does not really initiate people to this culture and does not prepare them for risk taking. And I hope I have answered your question. What do you think, Nisreen? Nisreen?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'm here.
Do you agree?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes, Prof. Yeah, I actually, because I'm having my research topic on entrepreneurship. I'm on the entrepreneurship cluster, and I just like, I'm interested on this because at our university we have a lot of good projects, but as you say, the people are not daring to switch into the entrepreneurial journey, and they prefer to keep in the research and academic part of it.
And there is also the fact that we still don't have the laws and the context that helps young entrepreneurs. Okay, so
Yes.
the Moroccan legal system, the Moroccan state is not doing much to help these young entrepreneurs when they take a risk. And you know, okay, so this is why people are afraid of taking a risk. They will rather opt for things where there is no risk taking, where they feel safe. And this feeling of safety is crucial. Okay, so what is your next question, Nisreen?
Okay, so the next question, you were talking about originality. And I think, in my point of view, originality is somehow subjective. What is original for me can be very normal for you, for example. So are there any tips so that we can test or see if our topic is original for, let's say, a lot of people, not only for us?
Yeah, of course, an original idea, Nisreen, is something new, for instance, unique. It's not an idea that everybody is capable of coming out with. It's original. You say it's original because maybe very, very few people will think in this way, or it's a topic not many people will come out with. And it's an original because it has not been investigated as well. So this is what we mean by originality. It's actually new and not very common. As of original means not very common. It's not something that we see every day and that we everyone is capable of coming out with. But if you come out with an original idea, it's something as we say in Moroccan Arabic, ما دايرش. شي موضوع ما
Okay.
داير.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay.
So the
So,
third one is related to the originality. Since I'm from a marketing background, like, can we use this originality to collect data? For example, if we need to do a survey, can we, for example, be original and use the online platforms, etc., in order to collect data, or is there a process to be followed in order to make it like good um, research results?
yeah, of course, now collecting online data or from websites or forums is no longer something new. I have doctoral students who have already based their studies on
Yeah,
online
but
data.
what I mean is like organizing giveaways or something in order to encourage people to do the survey or to participate. I'm
How
more talking about.
How are you going to encourage them?
Yeah, I'm talking about like making games or giveaways or something like this.
Yeah,
It's
sure, of
common?
course. Yeah, of course you
Okay.
can do it. All you need to do, Nisrin, is to mention it in your methodology chapter.
Okay.
Or in your methodology. You make sure that, of course, to be objective, not to be subjective in the thing, and you have to test whatever you are doing and make sure that everybody will understand whatever you are doing in the same way. There are criteria for setting those games. You should work on the way you will set, but the idea in itself is a very good idea. Okay, but just control, make sure that whatever game you want to develop for collecting your data is tested and it is really understood in the same way by all people. Now, who is going to have access to it? Now, this is one of the limitations of doing online data collection. Is that it limits, not everybody has access to internet, not everybody has access to social media, and this is one of the limitations of relying on online data collection. Okay, so I hope I have answered all your questions.
Thank you very much, and I hope to have the chance to meet you some.
Yeah, sure. You have Nisrin. You have my email.
Yes.
My emails at the beginning. I would be very happy to keep in touch and answer all your inquiries. Okay, don't mention it.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, honorable moderator, distinguished students, and their doctor. So it is a pleasure to be with you in this webinar and to listen and appreciate the valuable information and pieces of advice the honorable doctor has provided. So my name is Ayub Najm. I'm sorry, I'm not in the business school. I am a BA holder in linguistics from Qadiyad University in Marrakesh, and I am studying my master's in translation sciences and linguistics program in Tetouan, and I am about to defend my MA thesis, and I am thinking about applying for a PhD program. So I have two questions, if you don't mind, because the webinar specifically is addressed to business schools, business students, whereas I am not. If it is possible.
Yeah, no worry, because I am from a linguistic background. Don't worry.
Thank you very much. So we have a common ground. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So my first question is it okay to proceed and build on my MA thesis to develop a PhD thesis? So as one of the professors once said that it is the best way to be a good researcher is to choose a topic in the master's program and to build on it and to open your perspectives on the PhD program.
What is your topic? What is your topic, Ayub?
Okay, so my topic is issues of grammatical equivalence in audiovisual translation, problems and solutions in subtitling, Game of Thrones as case study.
Yeah.
So this is the first question.
Yeah, let me answer this one. What is the topic you are planning to undertake for your? Actually, I just want to make here a clear distinction. In the Moroccan context, we don't speak about PhD. It is a rather doctoral program because we are following the LMD system. So you are at the Moroccan university, you are a doctorate, and you are in a doctoral program. The PhD is rather the Anglo-Saxon title for the doctorate. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So what is your topic for the topic you are thinking of?
Basically, I didn't specify the topic yet, but as two broad areas, either I am going to work on grammatical equivalence or audiovisual translation, or I will fuse the two and develop a unique topic.
Okay, so let me tell you, you did well to refer to it. Yes, true that we can start a doctoral project at the level of the master program. True. It's a great idea because you gain time, you save time. Because when you work on a topic at the level of the master's program, you do most of the reading, or you do gain a background and knowledge in the topic. Now, there is only one requirement. I have done this myself with some of my students who started with me at the level of the master program and who carried on for the doctoral thesis. But the thing is that at that time, at the level of the master thesis, we did work on both the project of the master thesis and the project of the doctoral thesis. We knew ahead of time what we will be doing in the master thesis and what we will be doing at the level of the doctoral thesis. Because the master thesis can be a small part of the doctoral thesis. It can be, you can consider it a pilot study for your doctorate. You see? It can be a kind of pilot study for your doctorate. But for your case, you are still not aware of the topic you want to work on. Of course, you can carry on the topic if you have a supervisor who is from the field, who is in the field, who is an expert. But you will have to go through all the steps I mentioned. You should read more. A doctoral dissertation topic is not a master thesis topic. A master thesis topic is very limited, and we actually do not expect students to contribute to knowledge. This is only initiation to research. It's initiation. So we are not very demanding at the level of the master program, but at the level of the doctoral program, there is a requirement that the research should contribute to knowledge in the field. So you should really think about it seriously, read a lot about the literature and try to find really a topic that is doable, that is well justified, that is original, and where you will be contributing to knowledge. Okay? So I hope you can have access to this presentation, or if not, if you send me an email, I can share it with you and go through the steps. And believe me, you will end up coming out with a very good topic for your dissertation. Okay?
Yes, I was at the beginning of this webinar, so I have listened to all the pieces of advices you have provided. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So my second question, if you may please, is that I think it is like a new law that all university professors who supervise doctoral theses, like they specify the topics they can work on or the fields. So how are we going to know about these topics beforehand, or these areas of study beforehand we write our proposals and get in touch with the professors?
Yeah, of course. Normally, you should get in touch with the doctoral program and try to have the themes. Normally, the way I see it myself, I was the former director of the doctoral center at the Faculty of Letters and Human Sciences in Rabat. For each doctoral program, there are different, actually, we have 22 doctoral programs at the Faculty of Letters. So each doctoral program has a description, the objectives and the themes the members of the doctoral program are interested in. So you should really, this is crucial. When you want to submit your application to a doctoral program, make sure that the topic you are submitting is among the themes that the doctoral program is suggesting, because we suggest the themes on the basis of the profiles of the faculty members. We do receive plenty of applications, for instance, in translation, and we have no experts in translation, even if some colleagues have tried to supervise some. But as I mentioned, when the supervisor is not an expert in the field, the supervision is really, the student suffers with the supervision, because you need really to work with someone who is an expert in the topic you are working on. That's how things can really be smooth for you, and where you will benefit from the expertise of your supervisor. So if you should look at all the universities throughout Morocco and see where you can find someone who is really in your area of study, that's who is interested in your topic. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. And from what I heard, for instance, I can tell you that at the Faculty of Letters in Rabat, nobody would be interested in this topic because we have no experts in it. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
You.
Thank you so
Don't
much,
mention
Dr.
it. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome. Yeah? Any more?
Thank you very much, Dr. Yamina, for the presentation. It was very insightful and helping. I'm Kautar. I'm a PhD candidate in Africa Business School. And my first question is related to, I want to know how much time does it take to find a researchable topic if you work on it on a full-time basis, from your experience with the, when working with students.
Okay, yeah. How much? It's not. Could you please? There is a lot of noise from your part, Kautar.
Yeah. Kautar? How much time?
No. I heard your question. Can you just unmute yourself, because there is not a lot of noise from your part. Yeah, it's okay. I heard you say how much. How much time is required for choosing a topic? It depends on how much familiar you are with the area of study. And as I said, this is why I said, in order to choose a topic, go back to your master program subjects, modules, and what you studied there. Of course, you can start on a totally new topic, but if you start on a totally new topic, you need a lot of time to gain the background, because as I mentioned, you need to have a background and to know something about the topic before you about the area of study before you choose the topic. So if you go back to your master program and look at all the modules you have taken, if you reflect on your internship, if you have had an internship, if you look at the seminars and conferences and study days that were organized at your business school, or something that you are already familiar with. For instance, for the student who was before you, who wants to carry on with his master topic, more or less, or area of study, it will not require that much time, because, well, he will need to read more, but he already has some background about the topic. So you see, it all depends on how familiar you are with the area and how much time you are, of course, how much effort you are putting into it. If you work for 1 hour a day, it will take you a long time. But if you put, for instance, a lot of time and take things seriously and do readings, you should do a lot of readings. You should read at least the leading figures or the leading references in the field you want to choose. And you should read about the topic you have thought about as well. So I cannot quantify it, unfortunately, because I don't consider this to be really an issue, but you should rather think of what you are able to come out with depending on how much knowledge you have about the topic. If you have already some knowledge, for instance, I can give the example for one of my students who was working in a field and who wanted to change from that field. For instance, it was in linguistics. He was working on syntax, and he did his master thesis on syntax, but he wanted to shift to social linguistics. Okay. He didn't have any much background about social linguistics, even though he studied social linguistics at the level of his BA and at the level of the master degree. But he didn't have enough background about all the aspects. He hasn't read the leading figures in the field and so on and so forth. It took him, of course, he had to work on it throughout a year to be ready to read about the field, to read about the specific field he wants to get work on, and then to read about the topic he ended up selecting for choosing to work on. So you see, it's all a matter of how much you know at the very beginning about your topic. And Kautar, believe me, the more time you put into this initial stage, okay? So the more time you put in your initial stage, the better, because it is at this stage that we really consider that it is crucial, because when you decide you choose, you're on the right track, then you will face no challenges. Okay?
Yeah, thank you very much. I asked the question because, like, I don't want to make a rash decision, like choosing a topic from the beginning. So I asked if there is like some time that you should dedicate to find like a well fit topic that you are going to work on for like 3 years.
Yeah. That is, whatever time you invest in the choice of your topic is a time gained later on, because it's for your advantage. Okay, the more time you take in choosing your topic, the more time you will save later on. Because when you start, and you know that when you get registered, as I tell my students, when you get registered, the counter starts. Your counter starts. You have 3 years for completing, and then you get extensions for a 4th, 5th, and 6th year. So when you have a good topic, you have chosen your topic the right way, when you get registered, you start, the counter starts and you start the work as well. And if you have done things properly, I think that it's better to gain time preparing for the registration than to have to ask for extensions for your dissertation. Okay? Yeah?
Yeah, thank you very much. I have a second question. It's not
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, what are your recommendations related for researchers to enhance their communication skills? Because like most of researchers, like they are kind of geeky, so like they are focusing more on research, and they forget about the communication skills and interpersonal skills to communicate their findings and interact with other people, to try to communicate what they found and like what they are making search on. So what are your tips to enhance communication skills for researchers?
Well, there are plenty of opportunities that, of course, I don't know to what extent this is offered by your school, but normally these are things that doctoral programs should also consider to help their candidates work on. And if no such thing is offered at the level of your institution, you have to work on it yourself. Nowadays, there are plenty of tutorials on just YouTube for improving your public speaking, for improving your language skills. Languages are very, very crucial as well. So I don't know which language you will be writing in. So if you are supposed to write in English, you should absolutely work on your academic language, because in writing a doctoral thesis, it's not the same type of language you used to when you were writing your essays. Okay, so academic language requires a lot of argumentation. Dissertation writing really involves a lot of argumentation and providing support and so on. So all these things you can, nowadays, there are no excuses for young doctoral researchers not to be, of course, or to acquire these skills, because they are all offered for free on the net. So there are different tutorials on YouTube for public speaking, for academic writing. You can read, you can look at models, how people write a research, read what the others do, and this is how you can, of course, work on it. And if you need to take any training, any coaching, especially for actually self-confidence, and there are a number of skills, personal communication. I think that maybe this is becoming very crucial in our nowadays. So even after you graduate, interviews take into consideration your communication skills. Okay, so these have become really crucial to the individual for employability, and I think that the doctoral students should absolutely work on them, either with the help of their institution, or they should take the initiative to do it themselves. Okay, I hope I have answered.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Yamina.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah?
can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, this is Hajar. PhD. I'm business administration PhD student at EMU Turkey. So I have a lot of questions actually. First of all, I want to thank you for your valuable presentation. First of all, I mean, as a student here, we are required to prepare a research paper, at least one research paper before 1.5 years. So I want to ask if there is any particularity we should take into account. I mean, I should follow the same guidelines you've mentioned, or there is any particular points about paper, research paper?
Yeah, you mean is it a research paper or an article, publishing an article?
Actually, it's a published article, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a research paper. You have, of course, these are the same requirements for our students as well. Our students are supposed to publish 2 articles before they reach the stage of their defense, or before their defense. Now, writing an article has other requirements, of course. This is a doctoral dissertation where you have enough space for bringing a lot of things. Now, here I have presented about how to choose a topic. So, because it's not about how to write a research article or how to write a paper. In choosing a topic, of course, one of the topic you can write on can be drawn from your own research, doctoral research, for instance. Part of your research can appear in the form of an article, and you will have, of course, to do it according to the requirements of the journals or the journal you are planning to publish with. And it does not really, what I have covered today is just how to choose a topic for a doctoral research. It's not about how to publish an article. Of course, to publish an article, there are requirements. You should have a topic. You should also have read the literature as well to find out about what is happening. You should have refer to the methodology. You should explain the data. It's remember how you make it focused. It's more or less the same thing. You should set the context for your paper, and then you will have to collect data, analyze data, interpret data, and so on. But this is another it requires another presentation. It's not what I have covered today. But of course, a literature review is required also for publishing an article, as I have mentioned. Okay? Yeah?
Yes, doctor. Yes, that's clear. I know it was not mentioned in your presentation, but thank you for clarifying this point.
Yeah.
Secondly, my question is about career opportunities for doctoral candidate. I mean, after having our PhD certificate, besides of academia, what are the employability opportunities that are presented to us? I know that is another point, but I mean, we want to that you exchange with us your and based on your experience.
No, normally the way it is at the international level, and let's put ourselves at the international level. Normally, when you opt for completing a doctoral dissertation, most of the time, most of the time, of course, there are exceptions. People are targeting becoming or having access to academia and becoming a university professor or something like that. But of course, there are exceptions where with a doctoral dissertation, you can also claim and seek jobs in international organizations. You know, the employability rate in Morocco, especially with a doctoral dissertation, is not very high. For instance, if you have a doctoral dissertation or a doctoral degree in business, I don't see, personally, I am not in business, but I don't see how you can claim to have a job in the private sector. Of course you can, but it's not in the private sector. They rather seek or look for people with less degrees so as to have employees, not people with high degrees and so on. Now, what I notice, and I am open on the, for instance, on the American context, for instance, people do not really seek or go for a PhD because it's a PhD in the US, because people can easily get a job with even a BA, and even a master degree is not valorized for recruitment. It's MBA that is, of course, valorized. So PhD normally at the international level, when people opt for a PhD, it's for joining academia and being at the university. But at the same time, there are people I know, some of my students who got their doctorate are now with international organizations, okay, working for international organizations. And there are a lot of opportunities with international organizations and with the open market nowadays in more or less Morocco, in the region of Tangimed and so on. I think that there are opportunities, more and more opportunities, even in the private sector. And we have also a number of private institutions establishing in Morocco. So I think that even among academia with a doctoral degree, there are opportunities. But normally in business, people look for experience, not degree. From what I heard from colleagues in the field, that is, when you want to go for a job in the private sector, people look really for experience and how much experience you have had in the field and what expertise you have. It's not the degree that matters, but expertise and years of experience you have had. Yeah? I hope I have been able to answer, and I would love you to ask the question to people from your business school to answer you as well, because I'm not in business, I'm in human sciences, and
it was really very clear, because I was wondering about that point.
Yeah.
Okay, I will do. So my last question is, while choosing our topic, I'm interested in qualitative research. So to what point it is original and useful in today to work on qualitative research or to undertake qualitative inquiry?
Hajar, you do not opt for an approach because you like it or whatever. You choose your approach on the basis of the topic you have. It's the topic that dictates the approach, the most appropriate approach for you to undertake research within. So you should not opt because you like qualitative research, you want to opt for qualitative research. You should really choose the topic and then see which approach and what instruments will really help you collect the appropriate data so as to answer your research questions and not the opposite. Of course, qualitative research is of great value, of course, and of course there are different schools, you know. There are people who prefer quantitative research, there are people who prefer qualitative research, and there are people who go for the mixed approach. I am for the mixed approach personally, qualitative research, of course, allows you to gain deep insight into the study. But it all depends on the topic you have. If you give me the topic, for instance, if you have already chosen your topic and give me the topic, I can say to what extent this is appropriate or it's not enough, or you should have a mixed approach, or and so. So don't choose your approach because you like it. No, that's not how we do. We choose the appropriate approach that will help us address deal with our topic and answer our research questions. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. I'm glad to attend to your presentation.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Yeah?
Hello.
Any more?
Hello.
Yeah? Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you advise some books on the qualitative research, standard books?
There are plenty. I don't have any one in mind really, because there are so many references. If you can send me an email, I will send you a list of references. Okay? Of course, there are plenty of books nowadays. I would like to seize the opportunity to invite you actually to attend our language, culture and society doctoral program webinars. We have been delivering webinars since the 20th of May, and we have addressed all these issues. So I can share the link of the Facebook of the page of our doctoral program, and you can really have access to very, very precious presentations about qualitative research, quantitative research, about research design, and about different aspects. Okay, but please take my email, send me an email, and I will share with you the references. Okay? Yeah? Yeah, any more questions?
Ma'am, your email ID, please. I have written in the chat.
Yeah, sure. Yes? Welcome. Yes?
Okay.
So I would like to thank you very much for your information. My name is
No, I can't hear you very well. No. Sorry, but I can't hear what you're saying.
I have been.
No, the voice is not clear.
It's okay.
No. Your connection is very low and your voice is not clear. No, I don't hear anything.
I will try to write my.
Yeah, can you? Yes. Please write your question and I will read it.
Is there any more question besides Iman?
Is Iman writing her question?
Iman, could you please write your question in the chat box?
Is she writing it?
I think she has an internet issues. So I think there are no more questions also.
Hello?
So
Hello?
Yeah, I think.
Hello, yes, I would like please to ask a question.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, sure, Sarah, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us over. I am also not part of the business school, but beyond proud because I've been taking every single opportunity to attend every single webinar available during COVID. So I have to thank COVID for that because I am able to go through this process and this PhD or doctorate journey. By learning a lot from all these webinars. And I have to thank you so much, Dr. Al-Kirat. You are an iron woman. You are a ray of knowledge. And wherever you are, I will follow you.
Thank you, Sarah.
My question is related to the research topic. And as you know, I am still in the beginning stages of my research journey. And I've been changing my research question over and over and over. Does that mean that I don't have the right topic yet? Or is that part of the process? And my second related question to this is, when do you know that, yes, this is the right question, this is the right topic?
Yeah, of course, if you're,
thank you so much.
If you keep changing, it means you are not on the right track. Have you done all what was mentioned, actually? Have you really looked, what is your area of study? What is your specialized area of study? What is your problem, okay, or what is the topic? So if you are not able to tell exactly which area of study you are in and what special area you are within, and then work out a problem, it means you will never be able to come out with the right questions. And of course, I would be happy to discuss with this with you and see how I can help you. Because I heard you so many times asking questions, and I did understand from your questions every time to see that you are still struggling to find your way. True, Sarah, or not?
Yes, it is true. I think you
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
me enough now that I've
yeah,
been in
yeah,
every
yeah.
single webinar.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, it
yeah.
is true. It is true because I am dealing with the impact of COVID. So I've been trying to do a lot of literature review. I've read a lot of documents and articles out there about the Spanish flu and what happened in terms of education then. But I still struggle finding that right question because my research question is about the impact of COVID on parental engagement. Is that by obligation or by choice? And there are a lot of variables to that parental engagement.
Parental engagement in what?
In the students' learning and students' success. And my specific area of focus is K through 5 education.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, this is so. What is the field in general? The area of study in general?
Parental,
Because COVID, yeah, parental education. So it's education in general
yeah,
and
it's education.
specifics.
It's K through 5 education.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do you want? Impact actually is how are you going to measure the impact? You see, the impact, I try as much as possible to avoid using the word impact in the title. How are you going to measure it?
Well, what I already did is I started with some surveys and online questionnaires to
Mm-hmm.
parents,
Mm-hmm.
and what they have, because since I've taught online this whole period during COVID as well, I was able to reach out to parents and ask them what was the impact of this online learning in terms of your engagement. Did that change once COVID has changed our lives? Did that parental engagement changed, and therefore did that manage to change the learning or the success of the students? And I was able to witness that because some of the students I've taught, I've seen a huge impact between before COVID and after COVID. And I do see that when parents were engaged with the kids and when they were part of that learning process, I saw the positive change in learning and in achievement. And so uh, I know that by asking me what's the impact, do you think that because
Yeah,
COVID is temporary?
how are you going
Yeah.
to measure the impact? Okay, because in order to show the impact, there should be a unit of measurement. How are you going to measure it? In addition to the fact that COVID is a special period, so this is, I think it's too narrow. So maybe remember, I think you once asked the question, and we said that COVID, maybe the period of COVID can be one part of
Aspect.
your one aspect of your study, but it cannot be the whole topic for a dissertation, a doctoral dissertation, because I think that it's too narrow to be the topic for a doctoral dissertation, because it's a very short period, and it was what? Some maybe 3 months experience. You cannot undertake a doctoral research on this. You can undertake the research on the parents' impact, of course, or the role of parents in the education of their children as a whole, and you can refer to this COVID period as an example, because parents themselves were available and everyone were staying home, so there was the possibility of following and checking with their children was there. But what about the other periods when the parents are busy with their job and they are not available, and so on and so forth? So do you see, Sarah? I'm afraid the topic COVID period is not sufficient
Okay.
as a topic for a doctoral dissertation, unless you really try to see how to make it broader, because this is what I warned of, being too narrow. It's a narrow topic. Okay, it can be a topic for a research paper that you can publish about, but you should make it a little bit broader in order to make of it a doctoral research topic. Okay, so I can see some questions there in the chat. Iman Lukili is saying, you mentioned in your presentation that the topic of the doctoral dissertation should be narrowed enough. Yeah, so what is the question? Yes, of course. And by narrow, it doesn't mean that it should be very, very narrow as well. It should not be too general. Remember, neither too general, neither too narrow. It should be just enough for undertaking a doctoral research and, of course, having enough to say about the topic. So you have heard what I have said to Sarah, which is focusing on the COVID. And I think that this can be a good topic for a paper to publish, but not a dissertation, because you cannot really, I think, unless I have more information about the objective of the study and so on and so forth. The way I see it, and from what Sarah has mentioned, it's not enough. It's too narrow as a topic. Okay, thank you very much. So here you have, how can the researcher make sure that his or her question is neither limited nor too broad to be conducted? What do you mean research? A research question, of course, is a question that addresses one of the aspects. Of course, you have the research question. You can have one general research question that you can later on divide into sub-questions, but I personally prefer to have 2-3 research questions to answer. So too broad, a research question is not too broad or whatever. It's the topic that is too broad, because when your topic is limited, is well chosen, is focused, then your research questions just address what the topic is about. If the research questions are too broad, it means that the topic is too broad. Okay, so, and there is a close relationship between the topic, research topic, the research problem, the research questions, and the research hypothesis, if you want to start with a hypothesis. These are closely related, and they are all more or less address aspects, same aspects of the issue or the topic. And here another question, are there any criteria that the researcher should follow? Criteria for what? Of course, I've mentioned, is it for the choice of the topic? Is it for the research? It's very vague. So this is a very vague question. It's a very broad question, and I don't know what to answer. Criteria I have for doing what? I cannot really answer this question. The study is more qualitative since there is less secondary literature related to COVID. Yes, of course. You see, this is exactly what I mentioned. Try to avoid choosing a topic where you have not much or no literature, no studies on the issues. It is qualitative, yes, qualitative, but I said this is a topic for a journal article, not for a dissertation. Unless you really tell me exactly about the objectives, and then maybe you can make it general, make it broad enough to undertake doctoral research on. And this part of the COVID period can be as a case to show that when parents are available, for instance, and are there to support their, to assist their kids in things, maybe the results are better or something like that. I'm trying to think about it, Sarah. I would like to, if you want, I can get together, we can get together in a discussion, and I can help you see clearer into the topic. Okay?
Thank you very much, Doctor.
You're welcome. So another problem with investigating here, investigating the COVID period is the scarcity of literature, of course. Yes, and the effect, yes. I have a question, please. I have been hearing you and many other professors. What is it? And this is a long question. I have been hearing you and many professors advising students to carry on their doctoral thesis on the same topic they have worked on during the MA thesis. What if I would like to invest my efforts and to know and learn about something new, and that I don't see that my MA degree deserves to be elaborated further to serve a topic for a doctoral degree? Is that a limitation for, or will it be a serious obstacle for me? I can't thank you enough, dear. Okay. I think that it's not a requirement that your doctoral dissertation or doctoral thesis carries on the same topic you have investigated at the level of the master degree. It's not a requirement. Of course, you are free to go for a new topic. And I had, as I mentioned, I have given you the case of the student who totally opted for changing from one area of study to another area of study. I had students who completely changed to totally new topics. Now, the risk with this is that it will require more time from you, because you will have to read about this area of study, you will have to gain background, you will have to know what is happening in the field. So that's the only risk. This is why we do advise our students at the level of the master program to start thinking. And actually, I think this is really very, very helpful for the students if at the level of the master program, we try to make students aware of the fact that they should really start thinking of their doctoral program, doctoral topic, if they are planning to go for a doctorate. So it's not a requirement. You can decide to completely move to something new. There is no problem with this. It's only the only problem is with the fact that you will have to learn from scratch and discover all and everything about the new field of study and the new specific area of study you want to embark on. That's the only constraints. If you have no problem with this, of course, it's up to you. Of course, it's nobody imposes on you to keep with the same topic you have worked on for your master's degree. Okay. Another problem I have here from Mohammed, another problem with investigating the COVID period is the scarcity. No, here is not, it's not a question. So I think that these were the questions that I could see on the chat things, chat room. Okay. I cannot see any other questions. So Hasna, are there any other questions from the room? Oh yeah,
No.
there is one here now from Mustafa Murshid. But I guess to have a good profile as a researcher, you should conduct research on a given topic at the yeah. Okay. So of course, it's whether if you choose to change the topic, only the topic within the same area or field of study, you are just extending your knowledge in the field. And here it's not a problem because you are still within the same field of study. But if you choose completely, for instance, to choose to change from one field of study, you worked on, I don't know, since I am at a business school, you worked on finance for your MA thesis, and then you want to choose to work on marketing. I guess these are two different fields of study. So you will have to start from scratch, discovering about the new field, and you will have, this would require more time from you, more efforts, and so. But there is no problem if you want to go for that. Okay, it's all has to do with the amount of time this would require from you. It's not really something that nobody can tell you, no, you cannot do it, of course. Okay. Yeah. And normally at the level of the doctoral programs, we set requirements for the profile of the students to accept in the doctoral program. This is also something you should take into consideration. For instance, I have one of my students asking me, who graduated from the Faculty of Letters, Department of English, and then a Master of Cultural Studies, and then she wanted to go for a doctoral dissertation on psychology. This is something impossible. You should have a background in psychology. You should have both a BA and an MA, a master degree in psychology in order to go for a doctorate in psychology, because you should have the background in the field. Same thing for someone who is, I don't know, in another area of study, for instance, and he would like to go for sociology. Somebody from the Department of Arabic willing to go for a topic in sociology, or I received people from the Faculty of Law who had degrees in economy and who wanted to go for a doctorate in Arabic literature. This is completely nonsense, and it doesn't make sense, because you are completely changing from one field of study to another, and you will not have the background, and you will never become the expert, because all the background that is acquired throughout the years in your study will be lacking for you. Even if you try hard, it will always show that you are not, you lack the background in the field. Okay, or somebody in philosophy, for instance, I had an example. Somebody had a degree in philosophy, BA in philosophy, MA in philosophy, and then wanted to go for a doctorate in Arabic literature. This is something that cannot be accepted, because philosophy is not literature. Arabic literature requires that you master the language, and normally we think of the employability later on. If you want to be a university professor, you will apply for a Department of Arabic, and you don't have the skills and the competencies for teaching the Arabic language, because you have not received the training people receive in the Department of Arabic. Okay, I hope I have answered your questions. So somebody has nicely, Mohammed Uhiju has nicely shared the link of the doctoral program. We are webinars, and I really invite you to follow the rest of our webinars. We have a webinar today at 5 as well, and it's about how to write a book review, which is very, very interesting topic. We will have other topics throughout the week. Tomorrow we have another topic, and we have next week on Tuesday, we have a webinar, a student-led webinar. I invite you all to this session because it's the students' session talking about their experience with the training program they have received from the doctoral program, Language, Culture, and Society, and they will be giving their assessment and the takeaways from this experience. So you are all welcome to join. I normally always share the link of our sessions with Ms. Hasna. So any other questions?
Thank you, Ms. Riamina. I think there are no more questions. Thank you also for sharing your virtual program. I will share the links with our students too. So on behalf of the Africa Business School, we thank you so much for your comments, insights, and your presentation. It was so insightful. I think the student got an idea about how and also a guideline how to choose a research topic. The discussions were very interesting. So thank you again, and thank you for making time for this webinar, and thank you. I thank also the guests for their interaction.
Yeah, thank you, Hasna. It was a pleasure to be with you. And I hope we'll have more opportunities. And actually, we can bring our students together. Your students are welcome to attend with us, as we would love our students also to benefit from what the trainings you offer. So I think we should really think of partnerships and of collaborating together, because at the end we are all trying to serve our students, and we are doing it for the sake of our students.
Yeah,
Okay?
sure. It will be a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank
okay.
you.
So thank you to you all. They were very interesting questions. I enjoyed being with you, and maybe hope to see you in the future. Yeah?
Sure.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.